Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Check, check, check. Kyle with a C. I see you in the chat. Could you let me know if you're hearing anything? I'm struggling with some new technical problems with this app on my phone that I've not run into before. So, are you hearing me out there? Testing, testing. Let me know if you're hearing me. I've had to restart this thing a couple of times. Patrick Powell, hey, thanks for being in the chat. Could somebody give me a signal check? Kyle hears me, okay. I'm going to have to shake off my frustration. I was hoping to the whole point of, setting up, thanks Patrick and Kyle for the sound check. The whole point of setting up an event ahead of time is that, you can get the word out a little bit about, a stream that you want to do. So hopefully people will, pay attention and know about it and show up. But then you have to, it really helps if you can stream to that event that you've created. And I got some weird errors and just kind of crashed out on me, and I've never seen it do that before. So, but you're not here to hear about my technical issues, are you? No, you're here, hopefully, to hang out a little bit. We're going to celebrate 3,000 subs, which happened today on the channel, which is a pretty cool thing. I appreciate everybody who's wandered to the channel, and I appreciate the 2,999th person just as much as the 3,000. But we like those big round numbers, and we like playing with the milestones and stuff like that. So I figured what better reason? Well, that, and I don't have to work tomorrow because of the 4th of July, Independence Day here in the United States. Scott O, thanks very much. I appreciate you being here tonight. Hope you can hang out and participate in the chat for a while. So yeah, not working tomorrow, so that's a big help. Makes it easier to stay up late. I've got a beverage that will hopefully keep me in some sort of right mood to chat with everybody. Couple of caveats. It is the 3rd of July tonight, and this is the night that the town that I live in had its kind of neighborhood fireworks, and you might hear some more of those in the background coming from outside as other people are shooting off fireworks. So be aware of that. Also, I'm in a house full of people that are awake, as well as one guest. My daughter has a friend over, which was a little bit of a surprise because they came back from the downtown fireworks together. So we're going to try to keep it chill and quiet, but there's always a possibility you might hear something in the background. I normally don't caveat stuff like that, but it might go down. So I've got a few items here as I always do. I got a couple of pairs of items that follow a bit of a theme, and then I've got a couple of other things that don't really follow a theme, but I thought we'd just experiment with tonight while we're chatting. Keep it super simple tonight in terms of the triggers that we're messing around with. Super simple, super low tech. So let's see. We'll just run through the items real quick before we pick one and spend a little time with it. If you guys, hey Rowan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you follow Jared over at Exploring with ASMR, that's his channel, you will have caught a video that he put up recently, and one of the items in that video was the tea bag, it's the tea bag in the pouch, right? And if I remember correctly, I might have used one of these in that collaboration that he and I did. Part of why I favor the crinkle of the tea bag wrapper is because of the fact that there's tea inside of it, adds an element that's hard to describe. So you've got the crinkle, but then you also have this kind of moving around of the tea inside. So Jared featured one of these recently, and then it kind of reminded me of it. Oh wow, Evie. Hey, thanks for being here. That's so cool. So like I said, I've got a couple of themes going on tonight. So this little tea bag in the pouch is one of a pair of items that follow a little theme. The theme of a paper pouch and something inside the pouch with a different size. So I have this is a pouch, a paper pouch containing a bass guitar string. This is actually a used bass guitar string that I keep around with a full set of used strings in case of a breakage at a gig. I've actually never broken a bass string at a gig, but I carry a set of used strings around with me just in case. Chris 621 also suggests using tissue paper as a nice. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Tissue paper is outstanding. Patrick digs the unopened tea bags. But the thing is, to keep with the theme of the tea bag, this envelope has the bass string in it. I'm not going to take it all the way out, but you can see it right there. So when you think about the thing that's inside the pouch kind of contributing to the sound, with tea, it's a very organic, finely ground. And here we have something that's metal. And I don't know how this is coming across at all, but there, you know, I can hear a little bit of a vibration as the paper moves around. There's kind of a sizzle that comes from the paper occasionally vibrating against the string. Hey, it's Night Blossom. Very cool. Phoning in from Australia. And there's Jared. Good to see you, sir. So we have this guy to listen to. So that's one theme, the paper pouches with items inside. Another pair of items, one of which is the small plastic container of toothpicks. Yeah, Night Blossom, you finally made it to a stream. I'm just glad there was a stream. I had all kinds of technical difficulties at the beginning of this thing, so I appreciate your patience and perseverance in trying to find the actual stream. So we have our plastic container with toothpicks. It's a bit of a subtle sound, I think. Something like that. And then the pairing, or the item that's a pair to that, something we're going to have to be careful with, because it's the kind of thing that could get out of control. Another container with a whole bunch of, they're not toothpicks, but a whole bunch of things stacked in it. We have the glass full of pens and pencils and markers and things. This is the one we're going to have to be careful with, and if it's no good, we won't spend a lot of time with it, but I've got a ceramic mug at work with a bunch of pens and pencils stacked in it. I really associate this sound, the rummaging around, trying to find that particular favorite utensil amongst a whole bunch of utensils in a container. I just kind of associate that with either offices or desks, or I don't know, that kind of busy and stuff. I associate this sound with, resetting a task or switching in between, switching from one task to another in an office environment or something like that. That's where this sound kind of reminds me of. Skater Rap Monkey, hey, thanks for excuse me, thanks for having patience and trying to find me again. I had all sorts of crazy technical problems at the beginning of this stream. Sorry about that. Silver Games is in the chat. Organic ASMR. Sending the heart. Appreciate that. Alright, so here's our second pair of similar items to mess with tonight. I had another crinkle example, this doesn't fit with the other crinkles, but we got a whole box of this kind of packing material recently from something that came in the mail. So it's the air-filled plastic pouches. And you kind of have that sound going on. So we have a non-paper oriented crinkle to contrast against the others. Oh, thanks for the share, Night Blossom. I appreciate that. Silver Games likes the toothpicks. I do too. There's a great small subtlety to those little toothpicks rattling around. So we've got this is our fifth item, and then last but not least, I have the turned hackwood wooden bowl, and I think you might have seen this in the collaboration I did with Jared. But today, instead of being empty, we lift the lid. A Slight Sounds is in the chat. Hello there. Good to see you. Tonight, our wooden bowl is filled with our Scrabble tiles from the recent Scrabble video. So we've got this kind of sound. Wooden bowl full of wooden tiles. So 6 items tonight. That's actually a little more than I usually mess with. I guess I was feeling carried away with our 3K sub celebration. Silver Games has a good point about most things work well for ASMR. I actually think you're absolutely right about that, especially if you're like me and, if you're a big fan of subtle sounds, so many things, if you treat them carefully and slowly, can generate, I feel, some nice triggering qualities. Not everything scales up to fast sounds or aggressive sounds. Some things, well, not everything makes the transition very well, but when you're keeping it small, you're keeping it subtle, you're keeping it simple, you can I find, generate some really neat soundscapes with some things. Sometimes it gets a little too subtle. My son actually brought me this cool little wire. It's meant to be worn as a pendant. It's a little spiral kind of wire cage, just about that big, just in kind of an oval shape. And the idea is that you can choose stones or gems and insert them through the openings. It's kind of springy, and he brought that out with a question about whether that would make some nice sounds, and it was very, very subtle and very quiet, and I was thinking that it probably would lose the volume war against my voice, and probably wouldn't be able to be heard very well. But if you were doing a video with very, very quiet sounds, I bet you could do some cool stuff there. Error ASMR is in the chat. Good to see you. Okay. What should we start with? And then I'll start with that, and I can talk a little bit about what's been going on with the dining room space where I usually shoot videos, and obviously I would invite all of you to share in the chat what has been going on with you this week. How's work been? How's life been? If you're in the United States, did you do anything for pre-4th of July festivities or anything like that? I already have Trevor Patton is in the chat. Hello there, Trevor. We already have 2 votes for toothpicks, so we are starting with the toothpicks. So, for those of you who are new to one of these streams, please know that you are very welcome to chat it up with the other folks that are in the stream. I love when you guys are interacting with each other as well as with me, so please strike up conversations, get to know each other. That's what this is all about. I'm your host, but you know, I definitely don't need all of the attention. Please talk amongst yourselves. See if I can read this name. Tramples Trat. Hey there. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a little 3K subscriber celebration kind of stream going on tonight. So I hope you can all hang out for a little while. And Skater Rap Monkey mentions that it's been very hot. It's been hot in my part of the world as well, which, you know, we're tempted to complain about, but it is summertime, so we shouldn't complain too much, I guess. At least if, you know, you're in a part of the world where it really does get hot this time of year, or has the potential to, anyway. So, big thing going on my end is that we've got the front room of the house, the dining room, all torn up. That is the place where I usually shoot videos for this channel, and so everything's kind of a mess right now. We're going to be repainting soon, and we're taking up the carpet that the previous owners installed when they were getting the house ready to sell, and we are exposing the hardwood floors that are underneath the carpet. And we knew that the front room and several other rooms had hardwood floors, and we actually prefer hardwood floors over carpet generally, but we've just never really had the the motivation to tear one of the rooms apart and completely redo it. So we're finally seeing this hardwood floor for the first time in let's see, 19 years. We've been in this house 19 years. Silver Games, the carpet is just a light gray Berber. It's nothing too exciting. I'm sure it's not even, you know, we found all sorts of, things that the previous owners have done that could have been done better. So we're pretty sure this was just a cheap carpet that they got in there quickly just to kind of clean up the look of some of the rooms to try to get the house sold. It's nothing to write home about. Hey Peter, thanks for joining us for the chat tonight. Appreciate the compliment. No, it's not a fun color at all. It's exactly the kind of completely neutral, non-committal color that you'll stick in a house if you're going to change the carpets anyway. If you're trying to sell it, I think the conventional conservative wisdom is that you don't want anything too bold or outlandish in a house that you're trying to sell, because the prospective buyers can't see past the stuff that's there to try to imagine their own stuff in the house or the way they would want to do the rooms. So I'm sure the conventional realtor wisdom is to, keep things as generic as possible. The floors underneath that we're exposing are this wonderful honey, light and dark honey colored wood. It's just beautiful. It's heartbreaking, frankly, that the wood's been covered up as long as it has. It's also heartbreaking to see all the little holes that have been put in that lovely hardwood from the nails, from the tack boards around the perimeter of the rooms, and the staples that were used to hold down the pad. Yes, we're exposing the existing hardwood floors that are in that room and the hallway. But anyway, that's a long way to explain that, that's kind of why I'm a little bit off of my schedule recently, because that room is all torn up. And it's not like I can just kind of move to another room, because, a lot of the other rooms have stuff in them that used to be in the dining room. So it's a ripple effect, right? That's not the only room that's kind of messed up right now. Somebody asked about, yes, Trevor Patton asked about an email address for the channel. Yes, you can certainly, it's okay to send me an email about the channel. Exploring is asking about the next video subject. You're always very thoughtful to ask about that, and I appreciate it. The last thing that I posted to Twitter was going to be a video about some old German coins that I have, as well as a few postcards from Germany that my mom and dad sent to each other in the late 1950s and early 1960s. I was going to kind of look at those together. And I posted a picture of the postcards and the coins on a Twitter right before we started all the work in the front room, so I never quite got that video off the ground. And I was also going to do one on... shoot, I don't have my list with me. Hope you guys can still hear these toothpicks. When I get to talking about things, I get very absent-minded about how I'm handling our trigger items. Oh, and I did want to mention before I forget, episode 2 of the what we've been calling the Huge Atlas collaboration should, I think, be dropping next weekend. And I think that's going to be hosted on Let's Find Out ASMR's channel. The first one was hosted on ASM Arctica's channel, if you haven't seen that yet. We've got enough raw material for 8 or 9 episodes of that collaboration, so it's pretty cool. And we're going to do one a month. It's been really fun collaborating with not only creators of that caliber, but creators who have an enthusiasm for map topics, as I do. So we're able to kind of nerd out on that subject together, and it's a lot of fun. Plus, we're all using, different atlases, and, the way we kind of search for things, and our success in either finding or not finding, and kind of working around. Everybody's a little bit different, so it's fun to see that kind of compare and contrasting in the video, all of our different styles and voices, and it's very cool. Hello there, hello. Oh, I forgot, Skater Rap Monkey's going to be the guy who's going to be cracking the whip about when it's time to move on. Hey, Cold Hunter, welcome. We had a rough start to our stream tonight, but we finally got it off the ground. How are you doing tonight, Cold Hunter? Or morning, or whatever it is for you. Oh yeah, the tea bag is fantastic. Yeah, this is for you, Jared. I don't think I don't know if I quite have your touch with these things, but I do try. I think the key with these little tea packets in a video is to fight the urge to manipulate them too much. I think if I can remember when I watch videos and what I think is the most effective, it's when you almost barely barely handle them at all, right? We're just barely. Yeah, that's exactly right. You let the paper do the work itself. It's almost counterintuitive because it's almost like you're trying not to make sounds. Hey, Cold Hunter, I'm really sorry to hear that you're not doing well. I hope you can spend a few minutes with us and hopefully put some of that aside. Seaman 645 asks the most important question, I believe. Somebody can do the math on this. How long of a Subway sub sandwich, how long would it have to be to cost $3,000 if you assume that the price varies linearly with the length? Somebody look up a typical cost of a 12-inch sub and do that math and get back to us. Yeah, the tea packet is to give you an example of a much more gifted and effective creator. I would have to point to Massage ASMR Dimitri from Australia, and if you've ever seen any of his videos where he deals with the silver soap, the crinkly plastic wrappers on the silver soap. If you watch one of his silver soap videos and look at how he gets into these modes where he is barely doing anything with the soap, right? He's it's just it's uncanny the way Dimitri is able to you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like you barely do anything. Just barely. Pocky is coming up with the math. 444 feet of sub is what we would have to be dealing with to have the 3K sub. Night Blossom is loving the crinkles. I'm right there with you, and the more subtle, the better. And I bring up Dimitri. I think the silver soap example is kind of like a gold standard example, and I hope I don't know if I'm doing this justice, but if you wanna point to an example that is inspiring and something to try to emulate in subtle crinkle sounds, I mean, Dimitri and Silver Soap is pretty much it, if you ask me. Of course, he's got a very high technical bar that he sets because of the Rode mics that he uses and the nice recorders. I'm sure the Yeti isn't really even coming close to capturing that, but I hope you're getting this a little bit. We can do this same barely there technique with this plastic. And please do let me know if you see anything, any stutters or anything on the stream. I'm a little paranoid after the technical glitches, and I'm seeing some things on my phone screen that's making me wonder if the video is stuttering or anything like that. But Mama Night Blossom loves the soft speaking, the crinkles, the tapping, and the keyboard sounds. Those are all very good. Well, we should have plenty of soft speaking and crinkles. So let's see if we can barely handle this bit of packing here. It's no Silver Soap, but maybe we can.